This is Larry Jordan, the host of the Digital Production Buzz. The following interview is an excerpt from a recent program. To hear the entire program, visit digitalproductionbuzz.com.
We're talking to some really creative people.
And we've got one more incredibly creative person. Her name is Robyn Haddow. Robyn Haddow is a freelance motion graphics and playback artist with Scarab Digital. She has a wide-ranging experience spanning screen graphics, FUI design and animation, which stands for Fantasy User Interfaces, and innovative in-game cinematics. And she helps developers look at next-generation technology. And, Michael, the stuff that she has created is just stunning. Hello, Robyn. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
There you are.
We knew you would show up. It's just a question of we couldn't get
couldn't get you on the speaker here in the stage.
Our Skype connection was not working fast enough. That's all there is to it. Robyn, it'd be great if we could have you turn your camera on so we could not only hear you but see you, if that's doable.
Oh, there you are. Oh my God, you're outside.
And it's in Vancouver, and it's not raining. This is wonderful.
Oh, you're outside.
I know. We're so lucky.
And you're doing vertical video.
Robyn, tell me, what does I understand what motion graphics is all about, but what is a playback artist?
Well, playback is we do screen graphics for production, and what that means is we create all of our animations ready for set. So it appears as if the actors are actually interacting with the screens in real time.
I didn't even know they did that. I thought the actors never ever did that. Now they're starting to actually interact with your animations?
Yes. I mean, I work at a company called Scarab Digital, who has been doing playback for about 16 years. And it differs from post in that I think what you're referring to is the post side of things where, in production, things are shot green and then added in visual effects later. And playback is once you create the graphics, you then program them in another piece of software, and you build everything in loops. So it appears as if things are happening in real time, but really there's operators sitting behind the camera cueing everything, so when the actors touch a screen, it's as if the interface on the screen is actually responding.
That is so cool.
No, wait.
And now I want to go on.
I mean, normally as an actor in a special effects movie, you are acting with a dot or a puppet or something
That's
like
right.
that. So you are doing amazing stuff that helps performance.
Well,
I think so. I'd like to think so.
Well, you don't have to think so. All you have to do is go to your website.
No, you are doing it. No, you don't have to think so. You are doing it.
Mike. In fact, one of the things that you did recently was this exoskeleton. And we went to your website and we pulled down a couple of images of this exoskeleton, which looks like something I want to buy. It's just incredible. How did you create that? What process did you go through?
Well, I work in Cinema 4D, and I use the dynamic link, the Cineware link with Adobe After Effects.
Uh-huh.
And what happens is, depending on what the asset is, sometimes we are provided with some assets from the art department. Yep. In which case, for the exosuit, we were. So there's a really talented modeler, a group of modelers that created this suit, which I don't know if you guys have seen any episodes of season 3 of Arrow. That exosuit belongs to a character named Ray Palmer, and they actually have created that suit in real life. So that suit exists. And
from your design, they created the suit?
That's right. Yes.
Oh, that's too cool.
So I was given a 3D asset of the suit, which we then shaded and created wireframe and teched it all up to look like 3D schematics, so that when the character is actually in his suit, we can generate screens to make it look like diagnostics or the workings and analytics of the suit.
I've said this before, and I've said this before almost every week when we talk to people like you, but could you have even conceived of this 3-5 years ago, of what you're doing?
I mean, I have to say, I'm pretty blown away by the whole playback side of things. and the interactivity that it provides. I was introduced to that whole world at Scarab Digital because before it came from a background in video games.
Yeah, because obviously video games are translating big time to television and film. What you guys, you guys are doing is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited because at NAB I have selected a couple of shots from Arrow and the Flash, and I'm wanting to showcase some of the simple C4D tools that enable you to create complex looking animations that appear really futuristic and look really tech when really there's just a couple of things happening in the background to create these sort of high tech looking, smoke and mirrors, if you will.
How far in advance of production do you need to work? And when you're done, are you ever on set integrating your images with what's going on during filming?
Unfortunately not. I'd love to go on set and do so, but there really isn't, there's no time in, especially episodic TV. The turnaround time is basically a day. You arrive at your desk and you read the scene that you're going to be creating your pieces of playback for. And, by the end of the day, sometimes you need to output 2 or 3. So it's just sort of like, it's go time. It really is go time.
So you've got to turn these things around in like 12 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And you're
2 days if you're lucky. You get 2 days if, and then, you don't want to waste any time. So it's not, we have been getting some VFX shots recently, actually, for both the Flash and Arrow, and it's been allowing me a couple of days to go over and like the exosuit that you're talking about. There's some POV shots of what inside the helmet cam and inside Adam's HUD looks like. So it's been granting me a little bit extra time to spend on animation and fleshing out the graphics and all the extra little detail that you want to be able to put into all of it. So I don't know. I think you just get faster. You just work faster.
We're looking at some of the images that were the exoskeleton. When you're designing this stuff, how much creative freedom do you have, and what do the producers tell you must do?
I'm pretty lucky. There's a lot of creative freedom when building. I mean, the story points, those are the important notes that the producers always have. Like if there is, somebody's hacking into a system and they're denied entry, or there's a specific piece on the suit that's broken or the connection's down, then those sort of tags are highlighted notes. But overall, like in terms of the look of the interface and the graphics, it's pretty much a clean slate, which is awesome.
Well, we're looking at some of the images on the screen, and the amount of detail and the shading and the texture just is stunning. How do you approach something like this? Do you lay down the background first? Do you lay the foreground in? How do you think it through?
I do. I do. Definitely layout. I feel that just in the grand scheme of things and looking at the process, layout is so overlooked in many pipelines. It's just not. There's no time allocated for it. And I believe it's the most important part. You have to have the, your composition or the rough layout first, and then that is when you can begin to sort of fill out your build with, the key components. So what I generally do is, because I've been with the show, I've been with the show for the whole season. I've been developing the look of the interfaces for the different sets. It's sort of an established brand in and of itself. So we have, our colors and our fonts and our backgrounds and our line work already set up. And I just sort of rip elements as I go along from previous builds and, decide, is this going to be a 3-up? I mean, are we wanting to do a close-up of the suit in a couple of components, for example, and do a wide? Are we going to want to fly in other panels to showcase elements that are not always present? So I suppose definitely the blocking comes first, and then it's integrating your UI or your frame, and then bringing in your 3D elements. And I'll often just take a screen grab of the raw asset, and then plunk that in Illustrator and sort of design around it, because I'm the quickest in there. It's sort of like my, a whiteboard, if you will.
I dream of being able to create graphics that look as good as this. This is just amazing work.
Yeah, I wonder, as a little girl, is this what you wanted always to do?
Oh, definitely not. No,
I
definitely
didn't think
not.
so.
No. I remember seeing some of the work of Mark Colleran that came out in the early 2000s and all of those sci-fi films, and being super intrigued and really noticing the beauty of all these technical looking screens. Like they were, interfaces that were beautiful. And I sort of stumbled upon it when I was in film school, and just kind of kept prodding and sort of poking down that path.
Now, one of the interesting things is you're going to be showcasing your work at NAB. Tell me what you're doing there.
Yeah, so I have quite a few number of shots, actually, that we've been working on at Scarab Digital for the Flash and Arrow. And I'm going to be breaking them down and showing simple C4D tools that make complex looking graphics. For example, creating dynamic rigs with the MoGraph module. So as you're building, if a note comes back saying, instead of 6 things here, we're going to need 12, or the speed is too slow, we need to crank this up like times 4. Or often, in the Flash, Barry gets in fights with the metahumans, and he's in Star Labs, and they'll be analyzing his body and looking.
Well, take a breath. Take a breath, because I'm out of time. But let me just clarify: you're going to be in the.
I'll see you at NAB.
You're going to be in the Maxon booth, MAXON. You're going to be in the Maxon booth, demoing Cinema 4D. And what's your website for people that want to learn more about your work?
That's right. My website is robynhaddow.com. That's my name.
The Robyn herself is who you're seeing on screen, ROBYN HADDOW. Robyn, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Robyn.
Thank you very much for having me.
Bye-bye.